Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Jacksonville Buzz. I am your host, Adrienne Houghton. Joining me in the studio today is Juanita Jones, and she is the founder of Edible Blessings. Good morning, Juanita.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. And I'm going to ask you, what is Edible Blessings? But there's a little bit of a giveaway just here on the table. So tell me, what is Edible Blessings?
Edible Blessings is a mobile delivery bakery and now vending business that serves Jacksonville, Florida, and surrounding counties. So I also travel for those who might want my services in other locations. It used to be just custom cakes and desserts, but as COVID has proven, you have to be willing to shift and pivot, especially in the business world. So I found myself going a different direction when it came to reaching my clientele, thus the birth of the bakery vending machines. So that's why it's now Edible Blessings, Custom Cakes, and Vending.
So tell me, what's behind the name Edible Blessings?
I go by the motto that Edible Blessings is not just a name, it's an actual lifestyle. I truly believe that I am blessed to be a blessing, and not just in the sense of just doing something, but this brings joy to people. You know, this is a part of someone's celebration, someone's birthday, graduation, wedding. So that is thus Edible Blessing. You're being a blessing to somebody else's milestone in their life.
So you mentioned you do custom cakes. So you obviously, as you said, do weddings or something special.
Yes.
Do you cater for special dietary needs?
I do. It's so funny because your beautiful receptionist asked me that if I actually cater to special dietary needs. And I told her, hey, this is 2022. If you're not doing that, then you're doing something wrong. So yes, I do gluten-free desserts. I do keto desserts for certain items. I also do vegan as well as sugar-free.
The receptionist and I are both gluten-free. So whenever we see anything like that, it's always like, yeah, no, we probably can't have it. But I know that it's becoming more popular.
Yes.
And it's certainly not the easiest thing to do to bake gluten-free, because it is a process, and, you know, good on you for trying it. Because
yes, absolutely.
There's a number of different issues with dietary problems, I know.
Yes, absolutely. When it comes to, if I'm going to offer something, I'm going to offer it where I know I'm proud of putting my stamp on it.
Absolutely.
My name is not going to be attached to it if I don't feel like it's something that I personally wouldn't eat myself, even if it is gluten-free or sugar-free. Right.
So now let's talk a little bit about Juanita Jones, because in 2015, you wrote a book called The Frustrated Dreamer.
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe we have that here.
Yes, ma'am. And
now, what exactly was behind that project?
This book was birthed exactly as the title mentions, out of frustration. I served in corporate America for several decades. I was in hardcore sales and marketing. I did a lot of business management, a lot of business training, and I was good at what I did. I'm actually going to pat myself on the back a little bit. I was great at what I did, but I just did not find any satisfaction in what I was doing. I felt like the walls were closing in on me. I felt like I couldn't breathe. There were just so many dreams and goals and aspirations that I had that I just simply could not fulfill in corporate America. So while I was sitting in my office or in my cube, or if I was out in the field, because sales, you know, you travel a lot, literally the title popped into my mind, and I'm like, yeah, I am so frustrated right now. So I just started writing. I've always been a writer throughout school, high school, throughout college. And I just felt like this would be a good time for me to just go ahead and kind of write somewhat of a memoir. It's inspirational on top of being almost autobiographical. And then it's also combined with a lot of realistic business advice on how to become unstuck from being frustrated to actually implementing what it is that you really want to do.
And this book is still available?
Absolutely. This is on Amazon. It's in Barnes & Nobles. It's also on barnesandnobles.com. For those who don't like to read, it's also in Audible. So they can go to audible.com and download it, and you can just listen to it if you prefer to do that. Absolutely. So it's digital and in the paper format. And
you've continued, because a few years later, in 2017, you wrote another book.
I did. I wrote. I wrote Awaited. This is a journey between the wait and the wait. That's WEIGHT. And the wait, actually waiting on something. This is in regards to me battling with self-approval, self-acceptance. I've been pretty transparent when it comes to my trials and tribulations growing up as a smaller African-American female. I've always been on the thicker side, so to say. And, you know, social norms will make you feel like you're not good enough, or there's something wrong with you. There's something that needs to be fixed. And so I battled with anxiety, depression, body dysmorphia. And it does not help that social media puts, you know, these images out there that are mega photoshopped, and then everybody is going to get body work done. And there's one thing after another after another. That's what this book tackles for me. It tackles where I was in my worst, deepest, darkest place, to finally digging myself out of that pit and giving other people that hope and that joy and the insight to what really goes on behind the scenes when it comes to like the fashion industry, when it comes to branding and marketing and selling clothing, you know, hair, everything is tied to just getting that dollar, and it's going to make you feel like you need it. But that's the point. So I had fallen prey to a lot of those falsehoods. And this is just my way of, you know, dedicating back to all of the women and males. There are men that deal with it also. An opportunity to see that you're good enough just the way you are. If you want to change something, go ahead and change that. But change it for you, not because of what everybody else says you should be or what you should look like.
Did you find that therapeutic writing it?
Both books actually was extremely therapeutic. It's so funny. When I wrote The Frustrated Dreamer, I wrote it thinking I was helping someone else. And then not even a year or two later, it ended up being my manual, because I ended up leaving corporate America a year after I wrote that.
Well, I think it's fantastic. I mean, we could, there's so many more questions I want to ask, and we haven't even touched on your nonprofit involvement. So you'll have to come back. Juanita, thank you for coming in today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
One last thing. How do people find you?
Oh, my goodness. People can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/edibleblessings. They also can find me on Instagram, same name, instagram.com/edibleblessings. And the website's name is long, but it's www.edibleblessingscustomcakes with an S at the end.com.
Perfect. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
And don't forget, if you'd like to know any more information, you can also find it on iwannabuzz.com. Thank you for watching.